Welcome back, everyone. Good to see you all again for your stimulus check and stimulus package update for tonight, Saturday, January 30th. And in this brief update, we have to cover unemployment benefits, a brief update on a certain state, as well as student loans, and of course, your next $1,400/$2,000 stimulus check. Now, like I said, I have announced the next cash giveaway. The next cash giveaway will be when we hit 20,000 subscribers. So if you are brand new here to this channel and you haven't already, do consider hitting that big red button, the subscribe button. Click that big red button. Also click the notification bell as well. That will notify you every single solitary time I do post a brand new video. But before we can get to stimulus, if you have been enjoying my content, you have been enjoying my videos, you appreciate the output, go ahead and stimulate that like button, give the video a big thumbs up, smash the like button just to help by the YouTube algorithm so it does support me and my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. So certainly a handful of things to cover in this update. So in regards to student loan debt, now with the impeachment trial of former President Trump and the stimulus package coming before the US Senate in the coming weeks, two massive undertakings going to be being held in the Congress, the now Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is once again pressuring President Biden to cancel student loan debt. In a tweet, Senator Schumer blatantly said, quote, "Today would be a great day for President Biden and Vice President Harris to hashtag cancel student debt." This tweet garnered an enormous amount of support with tens of thousands of likes and retweets, but Schumer's tweet was also met with criticism from other Twitter users who raised several objections. One Twitter user simply responded, quote, "Yes, it would also be a good day to pass a COVID relief bill." So the people would mostly want a stimulus bill first to bolster the economy, help businesses and the American people before we can start talking about student loan debt and having a conversation surrounding that. Other users also brought up the fact that why stop at student loan debt when we could cancel other forms of debt as well. One Twitter user said, "Can you cancel my mortgage? Can I go buy a new truck and get that canceled too?" And then there's the issue of people that have already paid off their student loan debt over years, sometimes in some cases decades. So someone else had said, "I am a liberal to the core, but I paid for my kids. I would have loved that Ferrari. Would you give me my money back?" And then other criticism included, why stop at just $10,000 worth of student loan debt, which is Biden's proposal? Why not cancel all of it? For example, Senator Bernie Sanders is insisting that we should cancel all of the $1.7 trillion, nearly $2 trillion in student loan debt. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on student loan debt? Are you more in line with the Biden route of canceling just $10,000 of it? Or do you approve of the Bernie Sanders route of actually canceling it all completely and erasing it completely? Or do you think it's the responsibility of the person that took out the loan, and so we should not cancel any of it? It's their responsibility. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. Let's chat. And then we have an update on a specific state in the United States. That is the state of Oregon in regards to unemployment benefits. Yes, you Oregonians who are out of work will actually be receiving fewer weeks of extended jobless benefits starting next month due to the state's unemployment rate. The state has been offering jobless Oregonians who exhaust their regular unemployment benefits an extra 13 weeks of extended benefits because the state's unemployment rate has been above 6.5% over the preceding 3-month periods. Although unemployment rate in that state climbed to 6.4% in December, rising for the first time since April, the rate has still been below 6.5% for the last 3 months. That prompted the federal government to inform Oregon officials they could no longer offer the extended benefits, and the change will go into effect February 20th. Now, if the unemployment rate in that state rises to 6.5% or higher, the state will be able to offer the extended benefit program again. However, jobless Oregonians who have exhausted their regular unemployment benefits will still be able to receive extended benefits for the time being through a separate pandemic relief program funded by the federal government. Once the current extended benefit programs expire on February 20th, claimants will be automatically transferred to the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program for an additional 11 weeks. If you're a resident of Oregon, let me know down below in the comments, but it is unfortunate that the state has to seesaw and teeter-totter with that 6.5% rate, even though we are in the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Now, in news surrounding your next stimulus check, we have a new interesting analysis regarding Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus plan, and specifically the $400 billion in there allocated towards stimulus checks. This new analysis of the plan found that the $400 billion in aid allocated to the financially vulnerable households provides the largest boost to the GDP, or gross domestic product. Brookings Institution researchers divided the package into 4 categories based on how likely recipients are to spend the relief. Aid to financially vulnerable households, this is the category that includes increased unemployment benefits, housing assistance, health insurance subsidies, and an extension of programs, is estimated to have the greatest effect on GDP increasing it by nearly 10 cents per dollar of aid in the second quarter of this year, according to the study. The effects of the measure is expected to peak in the first quarter of 2022 at roughly 25 cents per dollar of aid. Interestingly, aid to businesses, the category that includes small business loans and paid sick leave, is estimated to have the least effect on GDP. And overall, Brookings estimates that Biden's proposed relief package will boost GDP by roughly 4% at the end of this year and 2% at the end of 2022. Now, this is very important because if the Democrats want to try to make this a bipartisan bill and they want to try to reach across the aisle to the GOP and try to get GOP support on this measure, well, they have to convince the GOP why we need another nearly $2 trillion in aid on top of the trillions of dollars in stimulus already passed. So if Democrats could make a substantive argument of why this bill is so necessary right now, as opposed to just waiting it out and seeing what the recent $900 billion of stimulus does for the economy, well then the GOP could give in. And as far as where we stand right now in stimulus, being that it is the end of the month and February is upon us, and it's not a shocker, we knew this bill was not going to pass this month. We knew it was going to take at least until February. Well, Biden has been consistently urging lawmakers to speed up the process and fast track this bill. Biden had recently said, quote, "We have learned from the past crises that the risk is not doing too much, the risk is not doing enough." We don't know for sure what path Democrats will go, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has left the door open for passing this without any Republican votes. She recently said we want it to be bipartisan always, but we can't surrender. Republicans have been balking at the price tag and pointing out how the provisions of the bill are flawed. For example, Senator Roger Marshall, he had pointed out specifically the additional $1,400 stimulus checks, a minimum wage increase, and billions of dollars for local and state governments, saying, quote, "Too much of the money is not going directly to the people who need it the most." Now, earlier this week, Biden did signify that he'd be willing to amend the bill so that way lower and middle income Americans only get stimulus checks as opposed to people in the higher upper tax brackets. But this upcoming month will be a very substantial month for stimulus, especially once this impeachment trial is out of the way, because now most Republican senators are saying that they would not support impeachment. It's almost as if the insurrection on the Capitol never occurred, and Republicans have changed history and rewrote the history books. They're now saying they would not support impeachment, and this trial will mostly be dead in the Senate, and we can now only focus on stimulus and Biden's agenda. So I would project that there would be major action this coming week once the House does come back from this work week that they had, and they could actually vote on a bill. We'll be keeping our eyes peeled for what House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the House of Representatives can produce as far as an actual stimulus bill. We could take a look at that, review it, and see what changes have been made, if any, or perhaps if more funding has been added before it does go off to the Senate. More news is to come in the very near future, so be sure that you do stay tuned. This is your one-stop shop for everything surrounding stimulus. So if you haven't already, go ahead and click the big red button, the subscribe button. Make sure that you are subscribed. Click the notification bell as well. And if you did enjoy this video, you got value out of this information, go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up, smash the like button. I do look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Take care for now.